So finally I have some free time to sit down in front of a camera, talk to myself, and then review Disenchantment. I watched it, like all of it, about 2 days after it was released, and as far as internet time goes, me reviewing it now is like decades past, but I don't care, I'm throwing my hat in the ring anyway because I need something to talk about and I need content for this channel. So yeah, Disenchantment, as everyone should already know, made by Matt Groening. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his surname correctly. If not, just call me an idiot. And yeah, as everyone else knows, he created The Simpsons and Futurama. And so if you are a fan of old school Simpsons, so classic Simpsons, specifically seasons 2 up to and including season 12, and if you liked pretty much all of Futurama, then you will like Disenchantment. So it really is a cross between the humor that they have in Futurama and classic Simpsons, but it's a little bit more crude, and before I even watched it, that's actually what I was expecting it to be, but not only was I expecting that, it's what I was hoping for, so I wasn't let down. I'm like, you know, yeah, it's pretty great. So yeah, as most people watching this would already know, it's set in the high fantasy kind of era, stuff like that, you know, medieval if you will, and yeah, I really liked the way it was presented. I felt a really awesome instant rapport with the characters, and unlike Futurama, and I'm not taking a shit on Futurama, I like it. I mean, I don't know if you can see the background here about where my finger's pointing now. That's every single season and movie of Futurama, so I own it, I legitimately enjoy it. The thing is that I've found myself enjoying Disenchantment a lot more. I really love the characters, I love the humor, the way they presented the drama aspects in a way, because unlike The Simpsons, how it's just, you know, random episode, nothing kind of continues on specifically, Futurama was one of those shows that really had to pay attention to the continuity. And so if you've seen Futurama, there's you'd be familiar with, and if you haven't seen Futurama, I'll briefly mention this without giving some spoilers away, but in the very first episode, the lead character Fry gets himself cryogenically frozen and wakes up 1,000 years later. And then they released some movies, and then they presented some plot twists about how he actually got frozen and how other characters came into play and how everything was like destined to be, etc., etc. And so yeah, you need to pay attention to detail in order for that to happen, but unlike The Simpsons, they kind of change origin stories. So in one of the earlier seasons, you goes to a flashback how Homer met Ned, and they instantly didn't like each other, but Ned just came around to the house and introduced him and said, "Hey neighbor." And then later seasons, I think like after season 20 sometime, it shows him meeting him a completely different way. I think it was at the honeymoon or something like that, but and Homer liked him at first, and so you couldn't do that with a show like Futurama. And so, sorry to go on a bit of a tangent there, but that's what Disenchantment's like. It pays attention to, you know, episodes, and so whilst each episode has its own kind of theme that episode revolves around, it does continue on. So they've got this continuous plot. And even though they only gave us 10 episodes to start with, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. So another thing too, if you are going to watch the show, when you get to the final episode of what they've released at the moment, so I think it's episode 10, there is footage after the credits of the final episode, so yeah, stick around for that. Yeah, other than that, there's not really much to say about it. It's kind of your typical Matt Groening cartoon show, similar to Futurama, but rather than being in the future, it's set, yeah, years before the present day. And there were times too when I found myself going, fight the feels, which I thought I was only going to get with Futurama, but yeah, the show does that as well, but they seem to be able to present it in a way where they don't need to have an extended amount of time for you to get attached to the characters or, you know, really be invested in the world. They just kind of throw it at you and get you feeling a rapport with the characters much faster. And so yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really can't wait for more, and yeah, that's, I mean, hey, what else is there to say? If you want to go check it out, I mean, it's streaming on Netflix now, or, you know, don't go download it, because no one ever does that, or stream it off other sites. Okay, so yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching, and go enjoy some TV shows.